In Bayonetta, the titular character is a stylish and sexy Umbran witch, with various powers such as control of time, mastery of bullet arts, and deadly hair. After emerging from a lake with no memory 20 years prior to the start of the game, she's out to uncover the truth of her past, and she's mainly seeking to achieve this by taking contracts from Danny DeVito, killing angels, and looking for a gemstone known as the Left Eye.
Without good-hearted souls like us to put these bastards 6 feet under, where'd society be? Of course, the pay's not bad either.
At its core, the gameplay revolves around navigating through levels and battling groups of angels. It's pretty typical for this style of game and quite reminiscent of Devil May Cry. There are 6 main aspects of Bayonetta's combat that really set it apart from its peers: Wicked Weaves, Witch Time, Dodge Offset, Torture Attacks, and Accessories. The first thing you might notice is that Bayonetta can equip guns on her feet. In fact, almost all weapons unlocked throughout the game can be attached to either hands or feet in one of 2 loadout slots. She can quickly swap between these slots during combat at the tap of a button. There are a ton of combos in the game, however for the most part these remain roughly the same with each weapon combination. So while some of the properties of the combo may change based on the weapon, the player won't need to memorize hundreds of combos. For example, Punch Punch Kick Punch when using the Scarab of Fair in both hands and feet will launch the enemy with a Wicked Weave, more on those later, as will Punch Punch Kick Punch with the Durga on feet and the Kilgore in hands. After each hit in a combo, the punch or kick button can be held for an additional effect that varies depending on the weapon. To share a couple of examples, with gun weapons this will fire off a few shots for damage and combo extension, and with the Durga Fire Claws a bomb is placed. Certain combos will require a pause in the middle to execute. Here we have Punch Punch Pause Punch. Notice how it's different to Punch Punch Punch. To help get the timing down on this, there's a subtle audio-visual cue most noticeable with the Scarab of Fair. When initiating the pause, just wait until Bayonetta twirls her guns before continuing the combo. The Scarab of Fair is what I'd consider to be the main weapon in the game, and while other weapons are fun to use for a while, I always found myself coming back to the loadout of Scarab of Fair on hands and Scarab of Fair on feet. Umbran witches such as Bayonetta enter pacts with the demons of Inferno and can summon them using their hair as a conduit. In Bayonetta's case, her main pact is with Madama Butterfly. What this means in practice is that certain attacks will summon a giant fist or foot made of Bayonetta's hair. These attacks are known as Wicked Weaves, and the further into the combo she is, the more powerful the attack. These Wicked Weave attacks each have different properties. I mentioned earlier that Punch Punch Kick Punch is a launch attack. There's also Punch Punch Pause Punch for a slam attack, Punch Punch Kick 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 for a stomp followed by a kick that sends the enemy flying away, and a whole bunch of others. A notable exception to this is the Sharaba sword, in which case the Wicked Weave seems to come from the blade itself rather than a hair-based summon. Wicked Weaves aren't only limited to combos. Certain unlockable moves such as the Tetsuzanku will also unleash a Wicked Weave at the cost of a few pearls of magic from the magic meter. And during certain battles, especially boss encounters, Bayonetta will summon a huge demon using her hair to finish off the opponent in a stunning display of brutality. Dodging an attack at the last possible moment will activate a state called Witch Time, allowing Bayonetta to quickly go from defense to offense. While Witch Time is active, time will drastically slow down, the points multiplier is applied, and many enemies have their defensive properties ignored, allowing heavily armoured enemies to be grabbed or launched. Ordinarily, when dodging, your combo string will end, meaning that you'll have to start over with a new combo. And since the strongest attacks are towards the end of combo strings, restarting combos over and over is problematic. However, the game has an amazing system called Dodge Offset to help overcome this problem. The way it works is that you can press and hold an attack button, and while it's still held, tap the dodge button. If done correctly, you'll be able to continue your combo from this point. For example, punch, hold kick and tap dodge, then punch. You'll see that the combo continued after the kick, so the punch activated a Wicked Weave combo ender. What's even better is that dodge offset can be activated on each attack in a combo. So here we have a punch, 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 kick, 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 each with a dodge offset. It's a little bit tricky at first. To get the timing down, I'd recommend using our trusty Scarborough Fair set and thinking about it like this. First of all, get used to holding the attack buttons in combos to extend the attacks. Once you've got that down, tap the dodge button during an extension and then move on to the next attack in the chain. When done correctly, Bayonetta will fire off a few rounds during the dodge, giving a visual indicator to whether or not you're performing it correctly. This does get a little bit more complicated during pause combos because how do you hold a pause, right? In this case, you'll want to pause after the dodge, so for punch, punch, pause, punch, it'll be punch, punch and dodge, pause, punch. When Bayonetta's magic meter is full, she can unleash her inner dominatrix to really bring the pain. Tapping punch and kick together will expend her magic and go into an animation in which she'll summon a prop, such as a guillotine or a wooden sex horse with chains for an incredibly damaging attack. Mashing the correct button prompt during this animation will ramp up the damage and rewards, and if it's enough to finish off the opponent, they'll drop an angel weapon. These angel weapons can be a little bit tricky to use but give a ton of combo points when used correctly. An accessory can be equipped on each of Bayonetta's arms, and these accessories enable additional skills such as automatically putting enemies in a taunted state, or dropping a bomb instead of activating witch time on a perfect dodge. My favourite of these accessories is the Moon of Mahakala, which enables Bayonetta to perform a Street Fighter 3 style parry by tapping the direction stick towards an incoming attack. It can reflect projectiles, and if performed with perfect timing, can perform a counter attack, award 2 orbs of magic, and activate a double duration witch time. While you could simply focus on surviving and killing enemies to progress to the end of the game actually rates you on doing this as stylishly as possible. It's split into chapters, with each chapter being made of verses. Each verse will award a stone to platinum medal depending on the player's performance, which are then used alongside other factors such as the number of deaths to determine the overall trophy for the chapter. The medals in each verse are rated on combo, time and damage. Getting platinum in all 3 categories will result in the highly coveted Pure Platinum award. Time is pretty generous, and unless you're performing a lot of torture attacks with long animations, it should be pretty easy to get platinum. Platinum in damage is the most difficult to get since it only takes a single hit to take you from platinum to gold, and avoiding all damage while surrounded by enemies is no simple feat. Getting platinum in combo in most cases isn't too hard to achieve, but the scoring system is quite complex. It's certainly too complex to explain in full here, but I'll give a couple of pointers. Repeating the same attacks during the same combo will diminish the amount of points they award all the way down to only 1 point per hit. There are a few different ways to reset these diminishing returns, the main one being Wicked Weave, and since the Wicked Weaves are typically towards the later parts of combo string, learning to dodge offset properly is absolutely crucial for keeping up your combo score. The game is designed around completing multiple playthroughs, and the first playthrough will only take around 10 hours on average, and this is taking into account exploring the levels, watching cutscenes and getting familiar with the combat system. However, there's a metagame aspect in that certain unlockables may require multiple playthroughs or specific conditions to be met. For example, completing a playthrough in under 3 hours will unlock the Bangle of Time, a powerful item that enables manual activation of witch time in exchange for magic. The achievement system is actually just about the only one I've ever cared about, and that each of the 51 achievements will award a single tier of blood. Collecting all of the tiers of blood will unlock an especially powerful accessory, but I'll leave that a secret. The other 50 tiers of blood are hidden across each chapter and spread across all difficulties above normal. And on the subject of difficulty, this game gets it so right. On hard mode, rather than the enemy simply having more health and doing more damage, the AI is more aggressive, attacks are faster, and the enemy formations in each verse have been redesigned, meaning that you'll be facing late game enemies right away in chapter 1. The Alfhiem Portals, which I'll get to shortly, are also different between normal and hard difficulties. Clearing hard mode will unlock non-stop infinite climax mode, which is basically the same as hard, however, witch time has been disabled. It's definitely a compelling challenge as a one-off, but I found that it pigeonholed me into playing in a very specific way, removing the freedom of expression that the game otherwise has in spades. Just now I mentioned that the Alfhiem Portals change in each difficulty, but what are Alfhiem Portals? They're secret challenges hidden in each level, where very specific conditions are presented, for example, staying airborne for a set amount of time or only being able to damage enemies during which time. Clearing them for the first time will award either a broken moon pearl or a broken piece of witch heart. When collecting enough of these, Bayonetta's max health or max magic will increase accordingly. Clearing them in subsequent runs will instead award a bullet. These bullets are used as ammo in a minigame called Angel Attack, which is a calorie shooter, and if you're playing on PC, I'd highly recommend using a mouse for this section. The score here will allow purchases of certain items, including 2 highly recommended and unique temporary boosts. The blue witch heart for a huge HP boost, and the gold moon pearl for 2 orbs of auto regen on your magic. The shop at the end of Angel Attack is just a mini bonus shop. The main shop is a bar known as the Gates of Hell, owned by fallen angel turned weaponsmith, Rodan.
Hey, check this out. What are you buying? Heard that in a game once.
In exchange for the halos collected from dead angels, Rodan will sell everything from lollipops to techniques, outfits, weapons, and beating hearts. If Bayonetta manages to bring Rodan an Alfhiem LP, he'll play it on the gramophone to attract a demon, teleport into hell, beat the shit out of it, and turn it into a weapon. The monsters the Bayonetta fights are a mix of seraphim and cherubim inspired angels with an Art Nouveau twist. They're really quite varied and most require specific tactics to be employed to defeat. Some are even vehicles, like the ship that fires lasers and missiles with little cherub faces on. They might seem cute, but are actually so annoying that even Lady Gaga wrote a tweet about it. The story in Bayonetta is nothing special, but it is still interesting to see how her character develops over the course of the game, due to the events throughout and the gradual return of her past memories. The game has an incredible sense of style with over-the-top violence, a sense of humour and playful sexuality, against Art Nouveau inspired visuals and a fantastic jazzy soundtrack. On a surface level, some might see the game as being overtly sexual in a way that's objectifying to women, but this isn't really a fair judgment. Bayonetta really owns her sexuality and is the woman in charge in any situation. The tone here is absolutely female empowerment rather than objectification. I'm a real sucker for small details, and Bayonetta has plenty. Some of them are more obvious, like leaving a trail of flowers while running as a panther, or Luca's very familiar list of ex-lovers. Both of these examples being references to game director Hideki Kamiya's past games. Some of these details are better hidden, like Bayonetta's firing pattern tracing a B and a heart in bullet holes. It's very difficult to find things to complain about in Bayonetta, but if I'm really nitpicking, a few points stand out. The QTE prompts are inconsistent, for example in this scene the shoot button is used to jump. One of the best boss fights in the game is only playable at the end of a Space Harrier style minigame that lasts for way too long. And the layout and controls of the menus are very confusing, and even after 80 hours I still struggled to navigate them. I'm not sure that there's really such a thing as a perfect game, but Bayonetta comes very close. If nothing else, I can confidently say that it's the absolute pinnacle of the hack and slash genre.